Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Eric sent me a note about a scam that's so widespread involving PG&E, the electric company out there in California and on the West Coast, Pacific Gas and Electric, that it's so widespread that PG&E actually issued their own warning and said, please watch out for this scam. We're sick and tired of it. People are targeting our customers. So this is directly from a press release by PG&E. Keeping customers safe, PG&E wants to help customers recognize utility scams and avoid falling victim to them. With reports of scams targeting utility customers at an all-time high, PG&E shares tips with customers to help recognize the signs of a potential scam. The most typical scam sign is someone calling you to say they're from PG&E and they threaten to disconnect your power if you don't pay them immediately. And people get scared because they don't want their power disconnected. And if, in fact, they might be late on their bills, they might think it's a real thing, but it's not. So someone calling, claiming to be from PG&E and threatening disconnection is a scam if they demand immediate payment via a prepaid debit card or money transfer services like Zelle. As a reminder, PG&E will never send a single notification to a customer within 1 hour of service interruption. And they'll never ask customers to make payments with a prepaid debit card, gift card, cryptocurrency, or third-party digital payment mobile applications. If you ever receive a call threatening utility disconnection, if you do not make immediate payment, hang up the phone and log into your account on pgne.com or call our customer service number to confirm your account details. Remember, PG&E will never ask for your financial information over the phone or via email, nor will we request payment via prepaid debit card or other payment services like Zelle. End the call, end the scam, says Matt Foley, lead customer, scam investigator for PG&E. I think Matt Foley may live in a van down by the river, but that could be a different Matt Foley. Based on data collected so far in 2023, scammers are stepping up their efforts to do this scam. There have been over 19,000 scam attempts reported by customers to PG&E this year. 19,000. Customers have lost nearly $342,000 to this scam this year. During 2022, PG&E received nearly 23,000 reports from customers who were targeted by scammers, and customers lost approximately $946,000 in fraudulent payments that they know about, because there's going to be other people who aren't going to report the scam to PG&E because they won't know they were scammed. Scammers can be convincing and often target those who are most vulnerable, including senior citizens in low-income communities. They also aim their scams at small business owners during busy customer service hours. Another recent emerging scam trend involves scammers targeting real estate agents via their listings and threatening to shut off power if immediate payment is not made. However, with the right information, customers can learn to detect and report these predatory scams. So number one, if they threaten to disconnect you right then and there, it's a scam. Scammers may aggressively demand immediate payment for an alleged past due bill. The request for immediate payment is likewise a scam. They may instruct the customer to purchase a prepaid card and then to call them back to make the payment right now. Request for a prepaid card, of course, is something they don't do. A refund or a rebate. Scammers may say that your utility company overbilled you and owes you a refund, or that you're entitled to a rebate, and they ask for your personal information so they can give you the money, see? And scammers, of course, can spoof numbers that look real. So when you get the number and it says PG&E is calling you, and the person says they need a gift card, it's a spoofed phone number. Customers should never purchase a prepaid card to avoid service disconnection or shutoff. PG&E does not specify how you should make a bill payment, and they do offer a variety of ways to pay a bill, including payments online, by phone, automatic bank draft, mail, or in person. If a scammer threatens immediate disconnection or shut off the service without prior notification, customers should hang up the phone, delete the email, or shut the door. And shut the door, of course, means that there might be somebody knocking on your door claiming that they're from the power company. Customers with delinquent accounts receive an advance disconnection notification, typically by mail, and included with their regular monthly bill. So there is a process for this. I believe this exists in all 50 states. But the power companies are state-sanctioned monopolies or near monopolies. So in Michigan, there's primarily two big power companies, but there's also a couple minor ones elsewhere. I guess there's three big ones if you count the one in the Upper Peninsula and then the two in the Lower Peninsula, and then a few other smaller ones. But due to the nature of the relationship the power company has with you and with the state regulators, they have a situation where they have to go through a process about paying your bill. So the cable company can shut your cable off if you don't pay your bill. Power company can eventually shut your power off if you don't pay your bill. But by eventually, I mean they've got to notify you, and they've got to warn you, and they've got to send you these notices. And so the idea that you're just going along one day, you've got no notices, and they call you and go, your power's going to get shut off today. That would never happen. That would never happen. Signing up for an online account at PG&E.com, which is just PGE.com, is another safeguard. Not only can customers log in to check their balance and payment history, they can sign up for recurring payments, paperless billing, and helpful alerts. Customers who suspect they've been victims of fraud or who feel threatened during contact with one of these scammers should contact local law enforcement. The Federal Trade Commission's website is also a good source of information about how to protect personal information. The problem with this particular scam is once they've got your money, it's gone. Most likely it's gone. It's probably gone out of the country. And so I've mentioned before, there are certain things to talk about on this show where people say, Steve, I know this. I already know this. I would never fall for this, right? That's great. That's great. Keep in mind, there's a lot of people on this planet, a lot of people in this country, and we all know people, quite often relatives, quite often friends, neighbors, and quite often it's the people who are not tech savvy, okay? So people who don't know how this stuff works. And I'm going to... I have a relative who's sick of me telling this story. And I never say how you're related to me. They don't know I'm talking about you. But I have a very, very close relative, who called me one day and said, Steve, I think I'm in trouble with the IRS. And I go, why is that? And he goes, they just called me. And I go, no, they didn't. And he goes, yes, they did. He goes, I can show you the caller ID. IRS. I go, haven't we talked about spoof phone numbers before? I thought I talked to you about that. And he goes, yeah, but this was the IRS. I'm like, if it said it was God calling, would you believe it was God? If it said Elvis Presley was calling, would you believe it was Elvis Presley? Some people think Elvis Presley was God. But would you believe that? Obviously not. So if I can spoof a phone number to say anything I want, why can't I spoof it to say the IRS is calling or PG&E is calling? So some people have a knee-jerk reaction. They see the caller ID and they think it's true because there used to be a time when it probably was, but not anymore, okay? So I had to explain to my relative that's not true. The IRS does not call you. They write to you. They use the postal service. I'm not saying it's the best way for them to contact you, but that's what they do, you know? So I calmed him down. He realized it wasn't the IRS, and then later on he's like, I can't believe I fell for that. But we all know these people in our lives. So if you have a person in your life, especially somebody who lives alone, you might want to talk to them and say, by the way, if you've got a power company such as PG&E or similar, and you pay the bill, be aware of the fact that scammers might try to call you and say that your power is going to get shut off or your water is going to get shut off. Something's going to get shut off. You don't pay it immediately. And they're going to want to keep you on the phone for fear that you're going to hang the phone up and call me or call somebody else who's going to say it's a scam, because it is a scam. They don't call you to tell you to shut your power off. It's not how it works. So keep in mind that you might not fall for this, but you know somebody who would. And it's your job to talk to that person periodically. Say, by the way, here's one of the latest scams going around. Watch out for it. Don't fall for it. And by the way, when somebody calls you with any emergency, hang up on them. Or there's old school people who don't like to do that. If you don't feel like hanging up on them, say, give me your phone number and let me call you back. And watch how they freak out because they don't want you doing that for fearing to call somebody and say it's a scam. Don't call them back. And by the way, if somebody really was calling you from PG&E and you said, let me call you back, you should be able to call them back. They got a phone. Obviously, they're calling you on a phone. Why can't you call them back? So they know that they can't give you the number to call back. That's the same one they called you from because it's spoofed. That's all. So it's a scam. Be aware of it. But the numbers were shocking when I saw that this year alone, They've got reported 19,000 scams and $342,000 in ripoffs. And last year, the numbers were $23,000 and $946,000 ripped off. And I suspect that numbers will continue to climb. So we got to get the word out, speak to people you know, protect your friends. And there you go. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. People who exercise their brains stay young in spirit.